we can't see you, but we know you can hear us. First of all, great performance by yourself. There you are. Great performance by yourself and your team. How good did this win feel here in Chicago tonight for you?
Felt great. It's always good to beat these guys. A really good team, but I think we came here and handled business, got some stops, got some buckets, and pulled out a W.
Hey, Jimmy, sorry we couldn't hear you initially there. Look, you're getting more comfortable, it looks like, beyond the arc, looking for your three-point shot. How much will that impact your game, being able to, make those when you couple it with your ability to drive?
I think that everybody's always telling me to look to shoot more threes. I'm doing a great job of that. Tuck, if you don't get from behind me, but that's what we want to do. We want layups, free throws, and threes.
Jimmy, you guys went through that one bump in the road. It's been such a joyful regular season, then one rough week with the 4 straight losses, but looks like you guys are back on track as this regular season is winding down. How's it feel?
It feels great. That's part of being a really good team. Everything's not going to be all good. Everything's not going to be all bad either. But we're back. We're back. So go to the back and shower.
So that man right there, Kyle Lowry, really picking up his offense, Jimmy. And what does that mean in terms of being able to really expand upon your guys' overall offense? Does that take pressure? Does that take a lot of pressure off you when he's making those plays?
Off of everybody. We love that version of Kalo. He's still getting everybody involved. He's guarding on the defensive end. And then he just added in his ability to get a bucket. He's been doing it for a long time now, and he's doing it at the right time for us right now.
Jimmy, I know you're taking Kyle Lowry back to Toronto. I know you want to get the win for him, but let me ask you this. We haven't had a chance to ask you this. How much you guys want to finish top seed in the East?
I mean, we want to win as many games as possible. I think if we win out, that's where we're going to end up. But like I always say, you want to be playing your best basketball at the right time. You want to be healthy. And I think that's what matters most.
Jimmy Butler, congratulations. You're headed to the playoffs for the 10th time in your career, taking the Heat with you for the 3rd straight year. We'll see you in Toronto.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Just a game like this in a moment like this. I mean, a week ago, this team was on a 4-game losing streak, a little bit uneven. The way you guys have responded, first at the Sacramento game, statement of Boston, and another one here. How does it feel to sort of have, I guess, reset yourself?
Yeah, I like all these experiences, that you are presented during a long NBA season, and these are all opportunities for you to grow, to try to figure things out. Every team basically has gone through those kind of stretches, and it's what happens when you have those stretches. Are you going to use it to try to, come together and get to another level? And that's the way the makeup of this locker room and this group is. So, it's an enjoyable group. And there's a deep respect, for what we're trying to do and the competition that we're playing. This is it's a fun time of year. You look at the standings, everything has context, everything's competitive, every team is playing for something. Even the play-in opportunities are, compelling. It's a good time, for your team to come together and get to a higher level.
This is one of the better offensive performances of the season. What did you like about the way you guys got to the shots, that you guys wanted against this defense?
It was a little bit of everything. It was a little bit of guys making shots. Certainly, our ball movement, player movement, unselfishness, that's something that we've really been trying to emphasize. We've been great with it all year long, so you're going to go through ups and downs with that. But we've had to get kind of a refocus and reemphasis to that kind of game. And during different pockets of the game, we were able to maximize different parts of our menu and different strengths. Jimmy was really good and assertive in that first half. Kyle was good. And once we got into that second half, Tyler and Bam, had some really good moments. And then, the guys coming off the bench gave us a great boost. We didn't even have to bring in, the full starting lineup, in the fourth. And that's what you want. You want guys contributing and impacting the game on both ends.
I know there are obviously far bigger, goals out there, but it's been a while since Miami had 50 wins in a season since 2014. Just to get to that mark, what does that say about where the team's at? And just,
you just never want to take anything for granted. Maybe 2 years ago, with a full season, we would have had a shot at it. But it just shows you, even when you feel like you have a culture and you're doing things right, it's hard to win consistently in this league. And when you have to retool and rebuild new teams and rosters, it's tough. The league is really competitive. It's something. It's not everything. It's not nothing. So we'll take it and we'll move on.
I know you don't like to pigeonhole players in certain positions. That's been a thing for a while. But you've had Jimmy out there without a traditional 4 recently. What have you liked about those looks?
Yeah, I think I was having this conversation with you. It's really hard for me to have that kind of conversation with these antiquated labels. It really is, because I don't see the game that way. We don't design our game that way. It really is positionless, and I know that whole term has become such a cliche. Jimmy's guarded 1 through 4 all season long, and his offensive role hasn't changed at all, with some of these tweaks in the rotation. So I think it's a little bit like kind of conventional to say, okay, he's a 4 or whatever. But I think it's more like where's the ball going, and what is our spacing? That, if I had to sum it up, but really in the last 10 days, that's what we've really worked on. And then, when it's going to player A, it's a little bit different. When it's player B, player C, player D, and all of these little nuances are different with your spacing and your actions and your ball and player movement, and that's where we've tried to improve in that area. But, Jimmy's versatility is super unique because of his size, his skill level, his athleticism, and the fact that you can play him anywhere on the floor. And what we're trying to do is just maximize that as much as we can without labeling it as a position.
Erik, plan on the second night of a back-to-back, something I'll have to consider, or just go for it, everyone's in rotation?
Yeah, I'm going to coach tomorrow.
And everyone who played today on a back-to-back?
We'll figure that out. I know Kyle is playing. Okay. Yeah. Everybody else, we're going to have to figure that out.
With Caleb tonight, was it a matter of just him working his way back, or just kind of sticking with what's been working?
Yeah, it was mostly that. And that's why, as we're making these moves, we have great depth, and these are tough decisions. And I truly believe that there's probably 4 or 5 different rotations and lineups that we could go to that would work because of our depth, but it's not possible all the time. But we're going to need everybody.
4 straight. To see how this team has responded from the toughest week of the season, with 3 straight wins and a blowout win tonight. I mean, what does it say about this team and the growth you guys have made this week?
I think it just explains, it talks about who we are as a team. We can go through adversity. We got each other's back, make a couple adjustments, and just continue to get better. It's a long season. Up until that point, I felt like, for the most part, the season was, a smooth sailing ride until those last couple games we lost in a row, and we were able to bounce back. So I'm happy we're back on the right track.
Tyler, you have the most unusual maybe shooting the line I can recall of your career. 6-7 on threes, 6-16 from the field.
Yeah.
But yet you had the tenacity when your first 3 shots are blocked. They always say scorers got to shoot, scorers got to score, to push through that. Sort of, what was the night like for you when it was really easy, or you made it look easy from outside, and then you had those first moments when you came in? Yeah,
usually it's the opposite way around for me. Usually I don't make threes and I'm, efficient in the inside the arc. But, it was just an unusual scoring night for me, a different way of scoring. Made some threes. My teammates, got me open, and happy we got the win and we were able to, get the first night of a back-to-back. Going to Toronto on the second night isn't always easy.
You haven't had a chance to play a real full 82-game season because something always happened at the start, which also gave this team a chance to have the first 50-win season with you. Just looking at the standings to see that 5-0 under the win column, what does that feel like?
Yeah, and I've been paying attention to it, the last week or so, trying to get to 50. So, for me, it's my first time, obviously, but, it feels good. Hopefully one day we can get, 60 wins and, keep going from there.
Tyler, when you look at where you guys are, 4 games left in the season, Kyle has talked about kind of ramping up for the real season, so to speak. Where do you feel you are with your game, and where do you feel the team is right now?
I think we're ready. I think we've been ready for the playoffs. Obviously, Kyle, being a veteran, he's wrapping things up, stepping things up. As you've seen in the last, month or so. And for me, I'm young, I'm ready. I'm excited to get out there and play in front of a bunch of fans in the playoffs. So, I'm ready.
You didn't really get much of that experience. I mean, 2 years ago you were in a bubble. Last year you got 2 games in Milwaukee, and then you never got to go back.
Yeah.
So you personally looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the atmospheres and in all the arenas. Even the stands were kind of like different last year. There weren't really people around the court, So I think the atmosphere is the most, what I'm looking forward to most.
Tyler, you have a guy, Bam gets in early foul trouble. To have a guy like Dedmon come in and put up the numbers he put up tonight, how rewarding is it to have a guy like that who can cover up when Bam does get in foul trouble?
Yeah, that's why we call him the mechanic. He's always filling the gap, filling the holes when we need him, and I think he's the best backup big in the league.